Hey everybody, it is Kellen Nitro for Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited, and this is my take on the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. That went down on 6/5/2019 from the Ryogoku Sumo Hall in Tokyo, Japan, and we crowned a new Best of the Super Juniors champion. Well, actually a repeat champion, I should say, in Will Ospreay, but the card on the final night was something to behold because there was a lot of other stuff happening other than the tournament. So I'm going to try and not necessarily break it down, but here are the notable moments in my mind. First off, there was a ton of multi-man matches involving the participants of the Super Junior tournament, those left standing. There were a couple of people talking about Shinoku being the most notable example that didn't get a chance to finish the tournament due to injury. And so there were substitutions made or just flat out, forfeitures made for the rest of the matches and that stuff. So certainly we wish Taka well in his return from injury and that stuff, and hopefully it's a speedy recovery. Opening match was Bandito, Jonathan Gresham, and Ren Narita taking on the IWGP Heavyweight Champion Dragon Lee, Shota Umino, and Titan. And of course, the winner of the Best of the Super Juniors gets the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title shot at Dominion coming up this weekend. And, you know, that's quite the caveat. That's what it's probably the preeminent, since the WCW Cruiserweight title went away, the preeminent junior heavyweight belt on the planet right now. You know, it's probably up there with the Ring of Honor Championship, honestly, and its importance for the junior heavyweight contingent, 1A and 1B, I would say. But anyway, Dragon Lee beats Narita in this match at 8:26 with a really sick running knee strike. And it was a good opening multi-man match to showcase everything going on with the Super Junior tournament with these guys. The Young Lions look really good in this match. Then we had some storyline happen in the form of the Bullet Club Juniors division, I guess, where ELP, El Phantasmo, Robbie Egos, and Taiji Ishimori took on the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champions Roppongi 3K and their new coach, Ryusuke Taguchi. Now, of course, he got the role because he beat Rocky Romero in one of their round robin matches during the Super Junior card. And so it's kind of a flip-flop now. Taguchi's in Rocky's role and Rocky's in Taguchi's role. It's kind of weird and complicated and funny at all at the same time. It's one of the more comedic angles that New Japan has going on right now. At 9:09, ELP won via blind tag, and he stole the pin with a CR2 on show from Robbie Eagles. So immediately, well, throughout the match, you could see little signs of dissension between Eagles and ELP. I think that this is building up towards something. No doubt a singles bout between Eagles and ELP somewhere down the line. We'll have to see whether that happens. I haven't had a chance to look at the extended card for Dominion yet. I know what the big matches are. Haven't had a chance to look at all of everything else. But suffices to say, and what was telegraphed, is that Eagles and Ishimori, prior to the Best of Super Juniors, had been in the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title chase as a tag team. With the recent dissension and that stuff, now it seems as though that ELP and Taiji are now a tag team, with Eagles on the left side, or on the outside, I should say, or left side, looking in. So, yeah, that's pretty much the storyline right now with the juniors in the Bullet Club. Is there a sit-down session with, the Tongans? Is there something going on there? Just more dissension with Bullet Club, and this time it's with the juniors. And I think it's just all around the new kid, ELP, relatively new kid, the kid who walked in earlier this year, and just his ego, pretty much. Just a scary, talented dude, though. Just amazing. Like I said, he is the Bullet Club equivalent of Will Ospreay. Next match was a 10-man tag involving members of Suzuki-gun, Dookie, Minoru Suzuki, Taichi, the never openweight champion, Kanemaru, and Zack Sabre Jr. taking on Jushin Liger, Tiger Mask, Ishii, and Toru Yano. Man, this was just a 10-man street fight almost, as it is with every Suzuki-gun match. They're building towards something with Suzuki and Liger. It's building up. If it's not going to be on Dominion, I would assume that it would be somewhere down the line. Maybe this is Liger's final match at the Tokyo Dome that they're building up, and they're just doing a real year-long slow burn for it. This is going to be, it'll be a decent match one-on-one with those guys, even at their ages when they do get into the ring, I think, because Liger can wrestle an MMA style, has proven so in the past a little bit. With Suzuki kind of, with his age, has kind of slimmed down a little bit too. So now he would be considered, I would say, more of a junior heavyweight than he was a heavyweight now at this point, or kind of more on that borderline. So I think it would be a really good equivalent. Just a wild 10-man with Yoshihashi getting the win in 10:34. Yoshihashi got the pin on Dookie, who was kind of a mid-tournament replacement, alternate replacement for El Desperado after he had to bow out of the tournament injured. So they named Dookie as kind of a replacement, a guy who's been beating around Mexico and that stuff for a long, long time. Japanese talent. And again, the wars between New Japan and Suzuki-gun continue, and more importantly, the angle is steadily being built between Liger and Suzuki for something somewhere down the line. LIJ, Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, Evil, Sanada, and Naito took on the IWGP Intercontinental Champion Kota Ibushi, Toa Hinare, Makabe, and Honma. Ibushi Naito Free is set for Dominion. Yes, that's right. That's kind of the semi-main, where you have Okada and Jericho for the IWGP heavyweight title as the main. Your semi-main and probably second last match on the card will be Naito and Ibushi, and this will be incredible. I saw the encounter between the two of them at MSG, and it easily was in the top 5 of one of my favorite matches of Mania weekend during my trip down to New York. And both those guys are just incredible talents and can get the job done in the ring. Evil and Sanada, of course, are a functioning tag team, former IWGP World Tag Team Champions, and they got the pin with the Magic Killer on Toa Hinare in 10:27. Wrapped up a very solid 8-man tag, and the build was still there. We saw an excellent confrontation between Naito and Ibushi. Just let it fly this weekend, boys. It's going to be amazing to see these guys in the third match. I believe Naito's got one, Ibushi's got one. This is the rubber match. The Ring of Honor tag team of Brody King and Marty Scurll took on the IWGP Heavyweight Champion Kazuchika Okada and Rocky Romero. The match itself was a total night off for Okada. He didn't really do much in this match. The real all-star of the match, though, was Brody King. This will be a guy that will be booked in New Japan for years to come, guaranteed. Kind of has that Bruiser Brody vibe to the Japanese public, and they love those super heavyweights from America that can fly and do stuff and just be monsters. And Brody King has the potential to be either a face monster or a heel monster. The guy has it all and is one of the best talents right now outside of WWE and outside of AEW, I would say, in North America. Marty Scurll as well. The Villain Enterprises thing, kudos to him, picking it up from the ashes of the Elite, and his allegiances with the Bullet Club and that stuff at the beginning of the year, when that group went its own separate ways with the formation of AEW and so forth. Dude's carved out a real niche for himself with this Villain Enterprises thing in Ring of Honor, and they are the ROH 6-man champions at the time of recording here today. And this match here, a very typical, almost, I would say, sports entertainment-esque 10-minute tag match. Brody King, for all he did, had to eat the pin with the Rainmaker at the 10:35 mark, I should say. So it was, itself a decent showcase for Brody King. Actually, he was the all-star in this match. But, just they have to build Okada and they have to push Okada. And then at the end of the match, we saw another Chris Jericho vignette calling himself the Painmaker. So this weekend it will be Painmaker versus Rainmaker at Dominion, where hopefully, it's sunny outside because the building's indoors. We're doing the matches. First third of a triple main event for New Japan Pro Wrestling on this card had Hiroshi Tanahashi returning from injury, taking on Jay White. And this was let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th meeting between the two individuals over the past 2 years. Switchblade sporting a little bit of a different look with the facial hair, a good change for him and that stuff. And he came right out of the box and just attacked Tanahashi, not allowing him to get any fanfare or anything. End of the match came at 1916, where Tanahashi attempted the Texas Cloverleaf, and Jay rolled him up for a small package pin. We've been seeing a lot of these guys go head to head, and it's almost as if it's kind of almost building New Japan's version of John Cena versus Randy Orton that we've seen it so many times. It's still fresh each time. I mean, I'm not burnt out on it by any means of the imagination, but to get White over again as the leader of Bullet Club and the heel, I think he's established that. I think he's also established himself as, I would say he would be the front runner out of whoever comes out of Jericho and Okada for that IWGP title chance if they do another title match prior to the G1. But now at this point, I think you're building towards the G1 and trying to get your competitors and that stuff together and everything. So is White a inside candidate to win the G1 this year? I would think he'd be probably top 5. I'm not saying he's my prediction yet. I got to look at the full field when it's announced. But if he's announced for the G1, then definitely I would think that he'd be one of the top 5 consensus picks amongst everybody. Tanahashi as well too, but I don't see them going at the same winner 2 years in a row again. I don't with this. But hey, they did, as we'll discuss later on with the Super Juniors. So who knows? Next match was the IWGP United States Championship. The champion, Juice Robinson, taking on the debuting Jon Moxley. That's right, Dean Ambrose himself. Jon Moxley making his New Japan Pro Wrestling debut and immediately thrown into the IWGP United States title picture. He was the deathrider in the vignettes that we've seen all throughout the Super Junior and prior to during Wrestling Dontaku and that stuff. I didn't think he would be, but AEW is very gracious with their contracted talent in making what they call international commitments prior to, the show starting on Tuesdays in the fall. I don't think they'll be as generous in the fall just due to the rigors of running a national television program. But, that's the thing with AEW. I think that they're really catering to the fans a lot and giving the fans finally a little bit of something, not everything that we want, but we'll get a better chance of seeing what we want through AEW than we would through WWE, I think, throughout the first couple years of AEW's operation. But ergo, this is not an AEW video, this is a New Japan Pro Wrestling video. And so, focusing on Jon Moxley's New Japan debut, he came out with a slightly different look than we're used to, even a different look than we saw at Double or Nothing, where the only thing similar was the Mox leather jacket with the spray paint Mox on the back. Came out with almost like MMA style tights and real short wrestling boots and knee pads. Harkening back to probably independent / FCW look for Jon Moxley / Dean Ambrose back in the day. And it's kind of different because he's still got like the beard and the haircut that he was rocking the final days of his WWE run. So, and it's even with the Japanese font on the telecast had WWE in them. So they were obviously advertising him as former WWE champion, Jon Moxley. So I think that's just coincidental funny stuff for a guy's debut. That's it. I'm not reading too much into it, other than, I think the short tights might be a precursor to how he'll look in AEW and, going forward. Or, he was paying tribute to the Japanese by mostly wearing all black short tights with a little barbed wire thing on one of the legs, because that's kind of the Japanese, that's the Inoki thing, right? That's what Inoki wore, was the black tights, the black knee pads, the black boots. This match itself was the wildest match I've seen since Jericho Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 12. This thing, when New Japan can do hardcore style, I think they're kind of second to none right now in the wrestling industry when it comes to hardcore matches, because these guys go all out in their matches. And between Robinson and Moxley, there was no filter in stopping this thing. This was incredible. You have to get a chance, if you haven't seen it, take a look at it. New Japan commentators Gino Gambino and Kevin Kelly renamed the Dirty Deeds DDT into the deathrider DDT, or just even the deathrider, and that's what he hit Robinson in, and hit another elevated version of it at 24-14 to win the U.S. title. Moxley, again, looked crazy motivated here. I think his, like he said in the podcasts and that stuff with Wade Keller and Chris Jericho, he is motivated again. We're going to see a whole brand new Dean Ambrose, John Moxley in AEW and New Japan circles throughout the rest of 2019. And he brought a wild level of intensity in this match. And so did Juice. Juice's babyface fire throughout this match was second to none as well. The Best of the Super Juniors 26 final was the main event, where we had the A block winner Shingo Takagi versus the B block winner Will Ospreay go one-on-one. If I get the blocks mixed up, they're just reverse. But I believe it is Shingo won the A block, Will won the B block, and they go head-to-head now for the trophy and a chance to take on Dragon Lee at Dominion for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. And this match itself was incredible. Definitely the best juniors match anyone has seen this year in that division. Maybe one of the top 5 matches of the year across the board that anyone has seen from any promotion. It's a solid 30 minutes of guys just going all out. The storyline going into this was Takagi was undefeated throughout the tournament, whereas Ospreay had a couple of blemishes but was looking as dangerous as he was when he won the Never Openweight title at the beginning of the year. Ospreay wins the Super Juniors by hitting the Stormbreaker at 33-36. Again, too much to cover in this match, so please, if you have a chance to watch it, sit down and watch it. It's over on New Japan World. That's how I watched the card. And afterwards, Ospreay takes the mic, and the big takeaway out of all of this is that he's moving to Japan. And, for a foreign-based Gaijin wrestler to do that, it's very uncommon now for a foreign-based Gaijin wrestler to do that. You'd have to think back to the days of, not even Bruiser Brody or Vader or Stan Hansen. And you know what? I think Hansen might have been either one of the last ones or the last one himself to go over there. Well, maybe even Johnny Ace as well, and have a physical property in Japan, or maybe a house or something like that, or an apartment or a condo or something, and have a headquarters in Japan for worldwide bookings and that stuff. This is where Ospreay's moving. Him and B. Priestley are obviously moving to Japan because they both are top talents in their respective promotions. Hopefully one day we can see Priestley in New Japan, because she's a great talent, especially with a lot of the Stardom girls and that stuff. If they came over and kind of started like a New Japan women's division, that would be amazing. However, Ospreay as the repeat Best of the Super Juniors champion for 2019. It's an amazing feeling for Will. He's joined a short list of guys who are multiple winners for this tournament, and has probably cemented himself right now as one of the all-time junior heavyweight greats of New Japan with this win. So, kudos to him. And now we wait for the weekend, as with this tournament concluding, we get another match for Dominion. IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, Dragon Lee, Will Ospreay will be part of the card for Dominion. My thoughts on the Best of the Super Juniors 26 finale, kind of my final rating on everything. I'll give it a 9.2 out of 10. The length for the card was just right. I think after a very sleepy opening section of the show with a lot of multi-man tags and that stuff that they needed to do, some to further and remind people of storylines going into Dominion and so on and so forth, and some just introducing brand new storylines, and then others just utilizing just wrestlers who were on the card and available for the show. I think the three-part triple main event portion of the program over-delivered. I thought it was great from White Tanahashi on through the IWGP US title match through the Best of Super Juniors. The IWGP US title match and the Super Juniors final were two of the best matches I've seen this year, bar none. I really love this card. This was great. If you get a chance to watch it, do so. I'm Kellen Nitro. Later days. Happy wrestling watching. Thanks for watching Nitromaniac TV's Wrestling Unlimited. Like, comment, subscribe, hate, dislike. I don't care. Feedback is feedback. Do it. Please. We'll talk to you guys later on down the line. And oh yeah, that's right. Tune in Friday on the channel. Friday, the replacement for WWE Super Showdown was voted on by you guys. And the winner was, drum roll please, Great American Bash 1989. So I'll be watching that here shortly, actually starting to watch it as soon as this is wrapped. And I will have full opinion and review on that show up. Fingers crossed Friday, definitely Saturday. All right. Take it easy, guys.